Imagine a world where an illness could not only ravage your body, but also cast you out from the very heart of your community. A world where a simple sickness could build invisible walls around you, separating you from every touch, every embrace, every shared meal. This was a reality defined by isolation, a test of the human spirit. Yet even in the deepest shadows of solitude, a spark of hope, a desperate desire for connection, still flickered. In the time of Jesus, a diagnosis of leprosy was a sentence to a life lived apart. It meant a constant, painful distance from loved ones, a life spent on the dusty outskirts of town. By law, those afflicted had to call out unclean, unclean, to warn anyone who might come near, ensuring their own loneliness. It was a life of quiet longing, observing the warmth of community from a desolate distance. Yet even in this profound separation, buried beneath the weight of shame and solitude, a deep, persistent yearning for healing, for restoration, for something more, refused to die. Then a new voice began to echo through the hills of Galilee. Jesus of Nazareth arrived, and his presence was like the dawn breaking over a long night. He moved with a gentle authority, radiating a calm and approachability that drew people to him. Crowds flocked to hear his words, but he didn't just see the masses. He saw individuals. He looked past the dirt, the disease, and the despair to see the person within, the inherent dignity and immeasurable worth that the world had so often overlooked. He offered a new way of seeing, a new hope, especially for those who felt most forgotten. One day, propelled by a faith that defied all reason and tradition, a man with leprosy dared to do the unthinkable. He saw Jesus, and in that moment, an unshakable belief took hold of his heart. Gathering every last ounce of his courage, he stepped out from the shadows and began to walk towards the crowd. People gasped, recoiling in fear and parting like the sea, creating a wide, empty space around him. But his eyes were fixed on Jesus. He pushed past the barriers of fear and social custom. And when he reached him, he fell to his knees. His plea was not one of despair, but of profound faith. "Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean." In that moment, all eyes turned to Jesus. The crowd held its breath, expecting him to recoil, to speak a word of healing from a safe distance. But what Jesus did next was utterly revolutionary. He looked at the man on the ground, and his eyes filled not with fear or disgust, but with pure, unadulterated compassion. He didn't hesitate. He didn't keep his distance. With a love that shattered every boundary, he reached out his hand and he touched him. Imagine it. The first kind touch after years of being untouchable. It was a touch that communicated more than words ever could. It was a touch that declared, "You are seen, you are valued, you are worthy of connection." And in that sacred, miraculous moment, as Jesus' hand rested upon him, the leprosy vanished. A warmth spread through the man's body as his skin was instantly made whole. His pain was gone, his isolation broken. He looked at his hands, once a symbol of his curse, now clear and restored. He looked up at Jesus, his face transformed from a mask of despair to one of pure, unbridled joy. It was more than a physical cure. It was the restoration of his life, his identity, and his place in the world. Jesus then gently instructed the man to go and fulfill the requirements of the law, a step that would officially reintegrate him into society. But the meaning of this encounter echoes far beyond that single act of healing. It is a powerful revelation of a love that knows no bounds, a compassion that willingly enters into our suffering, and a power that brings hope into the most desperate of circumstances. It shows us a Savior who crosses every divide to find and restore the one who is lost. In a world that so often erects walls between us, this story is a timeless reminder that hope can always break through. Jesus illuminates the profound power of compassion, the courage it takes to truly connect with one another, and the deep, transformative healing that flows from unconditional love. He inspires us to extend that same grace, that same touch of hope, to everyone we meet, affirming the precious and undeniable worth hidden within every human heart. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and share.